It's not raining yet. We're here on Tuesday to avoid the rain. So let's see what the evening is going to be like. Let me just switch this back to a view out over the water and go down and make sure that the microphone is happy. And let's talk. Let's bring this in a little bit, just like that, so it's not so. Okay, let's bring that over there. That's what we wanted to have. There we are. Let's see if I can see what it looks like on the computer. Where am I? Live. Am I live? Live from Toronto. It's Tuesday night. Yeah, it says I'm live. And I can see me. Let me just turn down the sound here so we don't have... So Carmen Watson, Sunflower Princess, hi. Angelic Alchemist, Mother, hi. Welcome to my my boat. Angelic, no, I don't live on the boat. It's a summer pastime. Spend a lot of time here, but I do have a bed somewhere else. Let me just make a few other changes here to this. Let me add a check so that you can drop a link. Let's see, type show link to drop link. Type show link to drop link. That's correct. And let's hit that. And let's pin this. Okay. That's good. Let me make sure that that actually took. That looks like it's okay. That looks wonderful. Okay, I don't see my panel on this version, but that's okay. Let's see, who else do we have? Yeah, Carmen, I believe I have. I can't check right now because I don't know how to multitask on all these computers. But let's see, how come I don't see my live chat? There we are. Okay. Hello. Okay, that's good. We'll put that in the background. Get that out of the way. Let's update the show link. It's one word, show link. Angelic Alchemist, one word, show link, no space. Show link. I'm just going to try this with my good friend GPS Photo and see if it works for him. Yeah, it worked. Nightbot. See, Nightbot is the nicest bot that I know. And we got a bit of background music. I don't know if it's loud enough or if it's too loud, but there's not much else happening on the water here. Let me just edit this a little bit. Where is the computer? Let's just update the description. Live. Hope no rain. And the background music from YouTube Audio Library. So it's copyright free music. Let's save that. And let's go back here and let's see if I can find that. Yeah, there we're live. There we're live. Let's see who else has come visited us. Caesar, thank you for coming by. Welcome aboard. Los, yeah, I love some of your stuff. I was looking at it on my computer earlier today. Thank you for the subscription. Latif Jahar, thank you for coming aboard. Appreciate that. Nice to have you on the boat. So we're going to see today. It hasn't started raining yet, so I'm hoping that we're going to get a few hours with the outside look. I'm just going to straighten that camera a little bit. Seems I moved it too much. Okay, that's straight now. Yeah, I moved it from Wednesday to Tuesday because it's supposed to rain all day. Hey, Paula, welcome. Welcome aboard. Love to see you. Always good stuff on your lives. Always learn a little bit about cooking sometimes. I'm not supposed to admit it, but I will learn from anybody that I can. There's so many good ways of doing things. I appreciate that. Yeah, click like. I guess I should click like myself. Appreciate that. Make the gods at YouTube happy with what we're trying to do here. I'm trying to see. Let me have a sip of Coke here. So the weather's actually been good today. It's been a nice. Thanks, Angelic. It's been a nice summer day. It's 10 degrees. So it's a little bit cool, and here on the water, a bit of fog is coming in. So it's a little bit. I know it's going to get worse. How come that picture is still not straight? I got to straighten that out. I can't live with a crooked camera. Let's see. When I look at it outside, it looks straight to me, but I guess it's not. Now it's straight. And let's turn it a little bit more. Yeah, there's a good angle. Don't want to impinge on the privacy of anybody on their boat, but I don't think we can see people here anyway. Hey, Carmen. Well, thank you for coming by. I would love to see you again. We're going to do this again next week on Wednesday, depending on the weather, I guess, a little bit. Because it's no fun when it's raining. It's a little bit depressing. Yeah, so looking out of the back of my boat and my neighbor's boat and a bunch of other boats on the other side of the marina. It's a nice evening. I was hoping we would get a sunset, but it's a little bit too cloudy today. The boat is pointing towards the west, so we would see the other side of the boat and we'd see the sunset over the trees, but we're not going to see a sunset today. 1,000-piece puzzle. I can't do puzzles. I get so lost, especially a puzzle with a lot of sky, because it's all blue, and then getting you trying to figure out where you're supposed to be is confusing. I guess the other thing that's really hard is when you get a puzzle with a lot of trees, and everything is green. So this, I'm using this microphone that I just published an unboxing. I wanted to try unboxing. I watch some, and I always learn something. And you never know, after another 10, 20, 30 unboxings, maybe we'll get Amazon to start paying us. We'll be an Amazon influencer. Hey DJ, welcome aboard. Nice to have you. Just saying that I did this unboxing. Hey Brad Palmer. It is a happy Tuesday unless it starts raining. But on the other hand, it's not supposed to rain until tomorrow afternoon now. And I had always planned to do live from the boat on Wednesday. And now with the rain, I moved it to Tuesday. You never know what the weather's going to be like, right? It's always... and that's the thing about boating and being on the water and doing anything outdoors. Yeah. I mean, I watch all these fishing guys. I don't see any fishing guys here today, but I watch all these fishing guys, and everybody's got beautiful weather. And you always say, how come when I'm fishing, it's raining? But, you never know what the weather's going to be. We spent today. Somebody asked if I live on the boat. No, we have a small house in Toronto, and we've spent the day planting flowers because it's the start of spring here. And we always say don't plant anything before May 24th because you never know if it's going to be frost. Yeah, I've never been fishing in California. It's been some time on the water, mainly in LA, Marina del Rey, Santa Monica, La Jolla. I guess La Jolla is as far south as I've been on the water. And then north, I don't think I've ever been on the water anywhere north of LA. Hey, Rusty Rivers, welcome aboard. I'm just talking about California. So I've never been fishing in California either. So it'd be interesting to see what it's like in other places. Still too early for fishing here. I do plan to pick up a fishing rod and organize fishing licenses, and then do catch and cook on the boat. Pardon me. I guess that fancy Nancy microphone picks up any sniffles you have as well. So I'm trying this bit of background music. So many years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, we bought a Bluetooth boombox, a Marley Bagga Rhythm. I guess it was designed by Bob Marley or Bob Marley's son, and it works. You sync it to the phone to get music while we're sailing, and I figured we'd have some background music that is from the YouTube library, so copyright free, so they're not going to come after me, hopefully. But adds a bit of background. I watch these guys, especially Willie's desert hideaway, and he's playing all this Willie Nelson music, and I never understand why YouTube shuts some people down and other people enjoy the good music. So this this Bluetooth boombox. When I bought the boat, it had an old radio, and I've replaced the radio, and then bought another one that talks Bluetooth, so that we can listen to the radio in the cockpit. But in the end, you usually want to listen to recorded music. I mean, Beach Boys, Sloop John B. is really good sunny day sailing weather. Reminds you of California a little bit. The problem with playing that in a YouTube live, though, is that it's copyrighted music. So don't want to upset the copyright gods. So I can't remember whose live did I go to. I went to a bunch of lives today. Don't remember any of them. It's all a blur. I had to rush off to buy plants, as I said. Norma Raymond, welcome aboard. Nice to see you. Let's give you a blue jacket. Network away. If you don't know all these people. Networking, that's what the whole YouTube thing is about. And it took me a while to realize that. I have another channel on Canadian art. And it's all interviews with artists. Canada Art Channel, for what it's worth. It's all interviews with artists. And they were put up there mainly to share them with other people that knew that they were going to be interviewed. So art galleries subscribed and things like that. But I never took any time to build the network of people that were watching that. Hey, pinned message. I still think that your username is a hoot. The first time I saw it, I was saying, okay, why am I seeing a pinned message in the middle of the chat? And then I realized that it's like there's another guy called System Error, right? So you look at it, you say, why is there a system error here? It helps to have a sense of humor. It helps to have a sense of humor. What am I playing here? What music am I playing here? So. Oh, it's a 10-minute song. Hey, Living After 50, welcome aboard. Nice to see you. Appreciate the visit. We're looking out the back of the boat at the marina. Last couple of times it's been rainy weather, and I was hoping that to avoid that. Normally, I guess I would have come out here on a Wednesday, but we're supposed to have a lot of rain on Wednesday, so it's you got to make hay while the sun shines. Even though we're not making hay, but you got to sit in the sun while the sun shines. Yeah, so we're looking at the back. There's no traffic. It's a weekday, and not a lot of boats going out on a weekday night. Hey, yeah, I read about that on CNN. You guys got some bad weather there, and I thought it was early for the bad weather. I thought the bad weather came later, but it's I guess it's not bad weather, it's strange weather, because if you didn't have rain, then farm crops wouldn't grow. So it's all harder to keep track of what's good and what's not good. But I guess it's cold up here, and I was just walked onto the dock with another guy, and I said, yeah, climate change has been canceled due to lack of interest. And no, I said, global warming has been canceled due to lack of interest. And he said, yeah, no, it hasn't been canceled. We just changed the name. Now we call it climate change. So we're expecting warmth this time of the year. and now we're getting a little bit cooler than we wanted to. I see a bunch of birds flying by. I don't know if they flew by the camera. No, I guess they didn't fly by the camera. Oh, yeah, there you go. So I don't know if there's a seagull or what it was that was flying by. It was just a minute ago. Hey, Quinta de Casa, thank you for coming aboard. Nice to see you. Appreciate the visit. Appreciate the visitors. The getting up there in subscribers, so now we need to generate some watch hours. And I do enjoy babbling, and as long as people are willing to listen and share a few thoughts and do some networking, then it would be my pleasure to talk with you here and take up some of your evening if you're in this part of the world. And did somebody say good morning? I can't remember whether somebody came on board and said good morning. So I guess that's over in the other side of the world. It's morning already. Yeah. I guess in Europe and Greece is 12 hours. No. Yes, Greece is 12 hours from here. London is 7, so no, it's got to be more than Greece. So I guess if you get into India, it's probably 12 hours. And yeah, so some people are just getting up, and here we're starting to wind down for the day. So we'll leave the camera outside until the light fades, and then we'll bring it back inside and chat some more. I kind of like this music playing in the background. I don't know if people can hear it. You know, on a weekday, it gets very quiet in the marina. I mean, we get seagulls, and there's one guy in a big power boat with big twin motors that will start up. But I think it's already too late for him. He would have been, 7 o'clock. He was going out, he'd go out by now. So a nice full-throated sound of the mufflers under the water. So you get the sort of a roar and some bubbles and stuff like that. But a lot of the time it's very quiet here. It's a bit of an isolated area in the city. We get airplanes flying overhead. We're in the glide path to Toronto City Centre Airport, Billy Bishop Airport, but they're not big planes. It's the biggest we get is these Bombardier Dash Q400s, so twin propeller. They're still noisy, and I guess the other thing compared to a jet is they're slow, so the noise lasts longer. But it's not bad. It goes away after a few seconds. It was interesting. Last time we did this, it was getting pretty dark, and the YouTube camera was still pretty bright. It was still the picture got enhanced to make it nice. Yeah, living after. Yeah, it's a good place to visit. I mean, it's a good place to live. I've been here for 60 years, 70 years, a lot of years. And I mean, it's easy to grumble and complain, but you know, there's some good things. I did some work in the 80s in California, in LA, and I spent some time in Marina del Rey. And I fell in love with that place. I fell in love with some of the people that I met. I fell in love with the marina. I fell in love with the beach, the ocean. But then I know a few people that moved down, people that were accountants here in Canada. And accounting is accounting. I mean, the laws are different. The tax laws are different. And they found it hard to integrate with no family. And I mean, they stayed, so it was still a good thing for them. but they sometimes spoke wistfully about having made the decision to move. But the summers are nice, winters are good, no snow. I guess unless you're looking for snow, then you can go up to the mountains. So it's California is has a lot of good things going for it. I guess there's problems everywhere, and yeah, but no, the Marina del Rey. I mean, that marina is so huge. I don't know if it's the biggest in the world. I was blown away. I don't know the history of it. I never did check. Maybe it's worth one day investigating. How did they, whoever they is, decide to build Marina del Rey? Was it just a bunch of guys in boats that started tying up in some of the channels? Was it a developer that bought a bunch of land and said, "What can we do with this? That's going to make an interesting place, a desirable place." I don't know the history of it. Like this marina is in the city of Toronto, but it is operated by the government of Canada. So they have marine facilities across the country on various water bodies of water, more on the oceans in the Pacific and the Atlantic, in support of the fishing industry. But they built this as a place for civilian boats, and it turned out nice. It's close to the city. It's far enough away that it's quiet. I mean, partly because the road's underdeveloped, so there's potholes that keeps the tourists away. To get at the marina from one direction, there's a one-lane Bailey Bridge that shakes and rattles when you cross it, so that scares off some people. It's those trees that you see behind that row of boats, that's the thing we call the Leslie Spit. It's a man-made pile of rocks that have so it's 60 or 70 years old, that has grown over with trees and has now been turned into a park with a lot of wildlife. You're not allowed to bring a dog, even on a leash, because they don't want dogs scaring the bunny rabbits and whatever else is living there. But it has some very nice bike trails and a lighthouse at the end. That lighthouse is in some of my sailing videos. I remember, and again, it's got to be 30, 40 years ago, the lighthouse used to have a foghorn. So on a good windy day, on a good foggy day at night, we'd hear the foghorn all night long. And then with GPS and better radar and better communications, the foghorn's been discontinued. The light is still there. And as you come in, there's leading lights that lead into Cherry Beach that are still maintained. So leading lights are two signals that are lined up. So if a ship is coming into the harbor, and in this case in Toronto, it's a very narrow gap between the island and the mainland of the city itself. And when I say narrow, 300 feet, 400, maybe 400 feet, 300 feet. And a typical freighter is easily 80 feet wide. So it's narrow. Now, we don't get a lot of waves or wind or bad weather, so it's pretty easy to navigate. But They do, I guess, want to make it easy enough for boats coming into the harbor to not run into things. I mean, I don't care about them as a sailor because I'm sailing in the daylight, or even at night. There's so many other lights. And I know where everything is. There are buoys that mark the channel as well, red buoys and green buoys, and they have lights on them, so it's easy enough to not run aground. I'm just wondering whether we have sunshine. Nope. The sun is trying to shine through the cloud, but not enough to have a decent sunset. I really want to do this once and have a nice sunset, because I think that would make such a pretty picture with the boats and the sun in the background. Now the sun is setting a little bit to the north from where we are, so I'm not sure how much. That's interesting. I'm not sure how much of a pretty skyline we're going to have under the sunset, but it would be nice to have a sunset. You know what I'm going to actually do? I'm going to keep my eye on that sun, that little ball of light that's coming through the clouds, and if it turns into an actual sunset, then we'll switch the camera around. Living under 50, there are no lobsters in this part of the world. No shellfish of any kind. That's not 100% true. We have a creature called the zebra mussel. So it's a mussel, like a shell with a creature. And they're not native to the area. They came in freighters from I don't think it's from Europe. We don't have a lot of vessel traffic from Europe here, more from Asia. And here in Toronto, we have a sugar refinery. So we get a boat every 2 days from the Caribbean, Jamaica, Trinidad, bringing in sugar cane. And watching them come in is quite a treat. The location where they are is right in downtown Toronto, and downtown Toronto at one point was a very maritime-oriented environment. Warehouses, freighters, cruise ships, passenger ships, all along the city, and that's all died. But the main ship traffic that we get coming in is sugar to the Redpath sugar refinery. If you look it up on Google Earth, and where that is an area that's highly developed, residential condos and apartments and a few offices. But one of the things that was built was a fake beach, so a beach called Sugar Beach. But it's really a cement parking lot that's been covered with sand, and they put up some chairs and umbrellas. And why is the picture quality suddenly bad? Why is that picture quality suddenly bad? I guess there's not much I can do about it. I think I just saw it circling. So it's the Wi-Fi is having issues. We don't really need this to be open. Let's close that. Yeah, the picture quality has deteriorated a little bit. But I guess that's because the Wi-Fi lost its connection for a few minutes there, and YouTube hasn't adapted yet. Let's see what we're doing here. What's happening with the sun? Right? The sun is still not turning into a sunset. I guess in the States you had Memorial Day yesterday, so that was a good day off, especially if you had decent weather. We don't have that particular holiday this particular time here. I mean, we have a similar thing in November. But only what we had, and I don't like talking about politics, but the King of England, who is also the King of Canada, was in for a couple of days with Queen Camilla, King Charles and Queen Camilla, to address our Parliament, which I guess, if for people that care about that, was a big deal. I know when I was a kid, I was maybe 10, so it'd be grade 5, grade 4, grade 5. Queen Elizabeth came, and they put us all on a bus and lined us all up, and we had to wave at the Queen, and got our flag, our Union Jack, and so it was kind of fun as a kid. I hear seagulls. Let me just poke my head out and see what the story is with the sun. Are we going to have a sunset? We might have a sunset. The scenery isn't that exciting in the direction of sun setting. I thought we'd have a sunset through the masts and through the boats, and all we see is, hey Suzanne, welcome aboard. Nice to have you. So the sunset might happen because the sun is getting brighter, so it's poking through the clouds, but it's not going to be a nice orange. But you never know. When you're on the boat, you take the weather and the weather conditions as they come. You can't change it. Yes, I do. I love being out at that time where the sun is turned a nice orange color, but it's still enough light that you can see. And I have some beautiful video of a few evening sails, and I said here the sun is the view with the sun setting might not be that interesting, but out on the water you get interesting skylines to the west. Hey Jody Genealogy, welcome aboard. Saw you driving earlier today. You're always driving somewhere, or else you're doing live from your drives. Yeah, we get some very nice sunsets, and and then at that point, as the sun is starting to just head below the horizon, the city lights up, and if you're close enough to shore, you end up with that area where the sun you see the sun setting, like the orange glow of the sun setting, and the city buildings, and there's a few places. I know they do it in New York, and they do this in Toronto as well. There is a group of photographers that keep track of the days of the year when the sun set at the end of a street. So if you're looking here in Toronto, I think it's King Street that we follow up. And the photographers will keep track of the day the sun is going to set between the buildings. And they refer to it as the Stonehenge effect, of the sun setting between the pillars. And that evening, the photographers get out of the street and they line up and shoot the. Yeah, Brad, thank you for dropping by, and thank you for hanging out for a few minutes. Every minute, every visitor, every minute counts. I appreciate that. We'll look for your next live when I'm back in front of my computer, and we'll cross paths again. So thank you very much for coming by. I appreciate the company. Yeah, so the photographers get out and look for the sun coming down the street. I know in New York they do the same thing, and it only happens a couple of days a year, because after that, sunset is further north or south. The other thing I see, hey Suzanne, yeah, thank you for coming by. Thank you for sticking around for a few minutes. The other, see, so where we live close to a beach, about half an hour walk from here, 15-minute car ride, and there are a few industrial chimneys, large industrial chimneys, and the photographers will line up on the beach on the days when the sun will set between those chimneys. Again, they're looking for a unique photo that only happens once or twice a year. When we had the last lunar eclipse, I know a few photographers that looked to get the moon behind the CN Tower. So the CN Tower is a tall communication tower restaurant in Toronto. I think it's the tallest building in the city. At one point it was the tallest in the world, and then somebody in Russia built a bigger one. And so the photographers will get out there and they'll calculate exactly when the moon is going to be behind this tower at just the right angle for looking like the moon is caught on the top of the building. So it's the photographers do some interesting stuff, and I guess there's the competition to see whose shot is more interesting. I don't know what my most interesting photo is. It's hard to tell. Hadn't thought about it for a while. I know boat photos. For a while I was official photographer for a yacht race. A series of yacht races, and in a yacht race all the boats get together at the beginning, and there's the line artificial line in the water that is created by the race committee, and it depends on the direction the wind is coming from. And the sailors, the objective is to cross the starting line at the exact second that they're supposed to. So there's a gun, a cannon usually, or a horn sound that goes off, set off by the race committee when the race starts. So you get a fleet of 10, 20 boats all trying to cross this starting line at the same time. If they get over too early, then they get a penalty and they have to go turn around and come back and lose precious time. And if they're too slow getting to the line, then of course then somebody's ahead of them. And I remember in one race, two boats got too close together, and the rigging, the wires that hold up the mast, banged together, and from in there I thought they were going to be permanently stuck together. But they got free. They both got penalties because you're not supposed to run into each other. That's one of the more important rules of racing. Don't run into another boat. But there are all kinds of rules on who has the right of way, let's call it. I think the natural terminology of the word is who has to give way and who can stay on their course, stand on. And the boat on the right has the right of way, the boat that has the wind has the right of way, the boat that has the sail on the right side of the boat has the right of way. And keeping track of all those things is a major consideration in a boat race. So that was an interesting picture of the boats looking like they were getting stuck and getting out of there. We have an interesting boat here called the Blue Nose. It's a schooner that was. Hey, LJ Mixed, welcome aboard. Thank you for coming to my live. Nice to have you. So the Blue Nose is a two-masted schooner. It was originally a fishing boat, and it also then started racing. So they would do races between Nova Scotia and Boston, Nova Scotia, Bar Harbor, Nova Scotia, Florida. And when the first one rotted, basically because it made out of wood, they built another one. So it's pretty famous. It's on the Canadian 10-cent piece to dime on the back. And it's a pretty boat. And I have some photos I took of that in Nova Scotia, in the Halifax Harbor. And it's been here as well. It's come for a visit. Okay, we got some circling. Hopefully that's not going to be a long-term thing. Always wonder how good the Wi-Fi is here. It does work. I mean, it's the advantage of Wi-Fi, of course, is that it's free, or at least it's built into the marina fee as opposed to paying for cell phone data. So hopefully we don't lose this, because if we do, then we're going to have to start all over again. Okay, they're circling a stop, so I guess it caught the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi totally dropped the last time we had this much fun. For about 15 seconds. We didn't lose the whole live. Like YouTube didn't shut us down. Yeah, we're circling again. Now, I don't know if it's the phone that's losing the signal, or is it my computer that's losing the signal. No, it's the must be the phone that's losing it. Well, the circling has stopped, so it must be okay. Yeah, Casa Loma. I have nice pictures of Casa Loma as well. It's an interesting building. The problem there is that the interesting side of the building faces north. So if you're looking for sun shining on the stone, because it's a gray stone building, you got to get just the right time when the sun sort of comes over the side. Yeah, the ferry. Oh yes, you're talking interesting pictures. So the ferry to Center Island, the amusement park on Center Island, is it was mainly for kids. When our kids were young, we'd be there every weekend, every second weekend anyway. They really enjoyed that. They really the rides. And so the ferry. So one day we're out sailing. I was taking pictures of ferries in the harbor because they're interesting. They're boats, right? And we have a ferry that is, we call it famous because it's 100 years old, and it's steam powered and has a paddle wheel. So we haven't had steam powered paddle wheel ferries in North America in a long time. But this thing is owned by the city as a tourist attraction. And we're out sailing in the harbor, 2019, I think, if I remember correctly. And I'm taking pictures of the boat and saying, "Oh, that's a nice picture." They had red and white bunting on it to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the boat. And then 2 years ago, Canada Post decides they want to buy my picture of the ferry. So if you look up Canada Post ferry stamps, there was 5 stamps that were made, and the Toronto Trillium Ferry photo is my photo. So I was lucky that they found me. The pictures were posted on Flickr. They found them on Flickr. Flickr is sort of, it's not an important photo site anymore because Instagram came along. But yeah, Flickr was good. Flickr was a good place to share photos. And they, Canada Post told me, "Hey, Jay Bones, welcome aboard. Let's give you a blue as well." Network as you wish. So that, I guess, of all my photos, that's probably the most famous because the post office decided to buy it. And they paid me, so not that much, but enough to paint the bottom of the boat 3 or 4 times, and other things. So it was a good photo. So if you look it up, it's Canada Post ferries stamp from last year. I think it went live. They started the project before COVID. And then during COVID, I guess they lost interest to some extent. And I thought they'd lost interest just in my picture. But then the whole last year, a bunch of emails suddenly showed up, and they said, "Yeah, we want to buy your photo of this ferry." So it worked well. Now, I was hoping there was going to be parties and fame, but no. So I didn't get invited to any unveiling parties, unfortunately. That was sad. But still, a ferry is a ferry. Yeah, Jody. So this is looking out the back of the boat at the back of my neighbor's boat, and row of boats across this part of the marina. I'm waiting to see what the sun does in terms of a sunset. The sun isn't really out, but there's a white ball in the sky through the clouds, and I'm hoping that we'll get a decent looking sunset, and I'll swing the camera around to face in that direction. But it's not a pretty view otherwise. It's marina buildings. I guess there's some boats as well, but Yeah, you can't control the weather. When I made my plan to move to Tuesday instead of Wednesday, the weather network that we rely on for weather up here had pictures of bright sun all the way until 8 o'clock. I guess they were optimistic in how much sun they were going to get. So you take what you get, be thankful for it, make the best of it, find a way to. Yeah, that picture's cleared up a lot. It was really fuzzy a while ago. I guess we were getting Wi-Fi issues, so YouTube adjusted its streaming speed and created a mess. I always wonder why some people's streams are fuzzy and some people's streams are great, and I think some of it is, especially people that are doing walking streams or driving streams. So they're using their cell phones, and if they're not getting enough data or enough data speed in the area that they're in, then YouTube adapts by degrading the quality of the image. Really, not degrading it, but reducing the bandwidth that's required to make the stream. So, people joke about some people's videos sound like they're taking with a Nokia flip phone. Which I've had in the past, and it's mainly YouTube adapting to their data speeds. So I'm using this wireless microphone, Bluetooth microphone that I just posted about, and charged the battery yesterday, and I'm curious to see how long the battery will last. I think something in the manual talks about 38 hours. So 38 hours is a decent time for a charge. Let's go look out the window. So when I say look out the window, so the camera is set up in the cockpit of the boat, in the outside, and I'm in the cabin down a set of stairs. So I can see the camera, but I can't see what the camera sees. I can only see it on my computer. So when I say I have to go out and take a look, I have to go out and take a look. Let's see what it looks like outside. Well, the sun is behind some trees, but I don't think it's going to be a pretty sky today. I think it's going to be just a gray sun disappearing in the background kind of thing. Yeah, I think it's just the sun is sort of behind some trees as well. So as it gets closer to the horizon, it may totally be hiding behind the trees. So we'll have to see. This is the first time I've thought about the sunset here. So we'll take a look at it. We'll give it time. I think sunset is 8:30. So we've got a half an hour before we'll know for sure what the sun is going to do to us. So I'm further away from the boom box now, so I don't know how much music we're getting through the microphone. Pardon me. I've got some sunscreen here that I think has expired this year, so I got to go buy some new. It's Hawaiian Tropic, but I like the smell of theirs. It's got a little bit of a sort of a coconutty flavor, and it's a very pretty smell. Some sunscreens that I've seen people wearing they almost smell like medicine. And no, so this Hawaiian Tropic stuff is really good. It's a spray because it's hard to reach your back if you're not using a spray. The downside is if you're doing it on your face, you got to cover your eyes, because I'm sure it's not good for your eyes if you spray it in your eyes, which I managed to avoid by covering my eyes with a piece of paper towel. Let's just run some water here for a minute. Let's see. Yeah, that sun is not going to be that exciting. Sorry. Sorry I couldn't arrange a decent sunset for you. What happened to the music? The music died. They were singing. Where's the music here? Or did my speaker die? Oh, Microsoft wants to update some speakers. Hello, music. Play. Okay, sunset. What's happening? I think we're going to miss out on the sunset. It's a weird. It's going to be weird weather. So this. This music that I'm playing now, it's a YouTube audio music for videos on YouTube, and it features this 433 hertz sound, which is C above middle C, I believe. And I'm trying to understand why people say 433 hertz is supposed to relax you more than any other sound. Hey, living after 50, no, just basically stay in this area. I've sailed in a couple other places in the world, in the Caribbean, in Nova Scotia, in Florida. So there's only not that many other places, but no, we say if we can't see the CN Tower, we've gone too far. Yeah, the boat is for the summer, and it's not 100% living on the boat. Go back to the house on a regular basis and sort of just see what you feel like that day. And, at home I have a bunch of computers in an office that I can do more on that is harder to do on the boat. I mean, here it's basically just a laptop, whereas at home it's multiple screens and multiple computers, and better quality Wi-Fi. But the boat is a very nice escape, and I like this, talking to you and letting us touch base with each other, sort of on a boat, right? It's a bit unique. We'll see. Jody Genealogy, I was saying I see a lot of her when she's driving. I've never done a driving live, but we'll see if we can get decent data, internet data, whether we'll do lives while the boat is underway. Hey, Wandering, welcome aboard. The downside of trying to sail and do a live at the same time is you got to pay attention to both the live and where you're sailing. The Florida sailing has been in the Bay of Biscayne, so in Miami. And I can't remember. It sailed in Key West, but it was on somebody else's boat. It was on a tourist boat, so that doesn't really count. But I believe it was Miami. Might be a little bit further north, not as far north as Fort Lauderdale. Spent a lot of time in Fort Lauderdale. So it might have been a bit further south, Hollywood area. It rings a bell, but I'm pretty sure it was in the Miami area. And it's such a beautiful area. The ocean. Once you're out of the intercoastal, once you're on the other side of the south, the Miami, whatever that island's called that South Beach is on, you're into real ocean weather. But where we were, it was nice. It was just to be able to say I've done it. Yeah, so the south of Florida. The other parts of Florida we've been in, spent time in Orlando when the kids were young, but that was all kid related, so never did anything on boats. In them, the one time in Key West was nice. Went to a wedding. Somebody organized a wedding. I think it was in the summer, but maybe later part of summer. Because remember, the weather was wonderful during the day. At night, it got very cold and windy, and I was surprised at that. I thought there was no cold in the summer in Florida, so I guess it was just the angle of the wind was blowing on the sea. It would have been right in the tip of Key West. I like Key West. Key West was a wonderful place to visit. I can't remember all the hotels. There was a Hemingway's bar, big bar downtown, I think. I remember seeing chickens walking around on the street. We'd go down to Mallory Point, Mallory something. Watch the sunset with all the rest of the tourists. But when in Rome, do as the Romans do. When in Key West, do as the Key Westians do. Drank too much, and then had to drive back over the highway, the bridges, to get back to Miami. So that was a long, interesting drive with a car full of hungover people. But I like that drive. We've been in several of the Keys, Key Largo, Esmeralda, at least that I can remember. Always liked Key Largo, I guess partly because of the Humphrey Bogart movie. Was it Humphrey Bogart that did Key Largo? That's probably the first time I knew that Key Largo existed. The thing I found interesting about Key West is that on the ocean side, like once you're past Key West and started driving north, a lot of seaweed on the beaches, a lot of smelly seaweed as well. Not on the Gulf side, but on the ocean side. So that was a bit disappointing. But the other Keys, Esmeralda, was good as a kid place. I think they have a swimming with the dolphins there. I remember that. And then Key Largo was interesting because we had alligator steak. Alligator, I think it was alligator. Right? One of the either alligator or crocodile. One of them. That was a neat thing to try. Not on the water. It wasn't on the water. Hey, Trekking with Deb and Mike. Welcome aboard. Nice to have you. Thank you for dropping by. Just talking about the Keys in Florida. And I was saying that Key Largo has always been sort of an interesting concept. Maybe because of the movie, the Key Largo movie. And it was also based a lot on boats. Like it was a lot of marine activity going on in that one. And so it was neat the first time we stayed there. The other Keys probably stayed on every key. I can't remember all of their names. But Key West, I guess in the end, is still the nicest tourist attraction. Remember the most southern, what's it called? The most southerly point. Where on a clear day you can see Cuba. Never saw Cuba, or maybe they were just making fun. Hey, where's there a bird visiting us? There's a bird on the back deck. Just don't poop on my deck. Don't poop on my poop deck. I like the bridge, and I like movies that use that tie into the bridges. I think I would like to sail there, but I don't think I'd like to sail there. I think I'd rather have a decent size motorboat, sport fisher, and drift around and anchor in a few places, and try to get some underwater pictures. It's I think there'd be some beautiful scenery there. Hey, Manhattan Pretty, welcome aboard my my boat live. Thanks for coming by. Stick around for a while. Give you a jacket. Network with some other people. Just talking about the Florida Keys. I've never been on the Gulf side of Florida, Tampa or Fort Myers, any of those places. And I'm not 100% sure why. Let's say from a vacation point of view, we would spend more time in Fort Lauderdale than anywhere else. That was an intriguing place as well. It's the first time I saw and this wasn't in the ocean or the intercoastal, but this is in the, there's a river that flows through Fort Lauderdale, whose name I don't know, Osceolas River. And I saw a bar boat. So it was a small boat that was just a bar all around, sort of tiki style, with thatched roof kind of stuff. And it was going up and down the river, and people were partying. Well, not so much partying, but sitting at the bar and drinking. So I thought that was such an interesting concept. And then somebody decided to try that in Toronto. Now, the big difference between Fort Lauderdale and Toronto is that Fort Lauderdale is warm and it has palm trees, and Toronto doesn't have palm trees, and it's cold more often than it's warm. But somebody decided to build a little pontoon boat and stick a bar in the middle and drift up and down Toronto Harbor. Now, I took pictures of it, and I think I did a video of it oh no, it was a short, and I killed that short. But it was like $50 on board, plus drinks. And they had a food menu, and it said chips. That was their food menu. Yeah, I've never been to Mexico, so I have no idea what, I have no knowledge of anywhere in Mexico. It's always fascinating reading about people's visits. It hasn't happened yet. One day, you never know. I guess the biggest thing in Mexico is it's warm. I don't know if I'd like the Gulf side or the Pacific side. Don't know enough about the resorts on either side. I don't think I would go with a boat. I think I would go to Destin, Panama City. Have to check that out. As I say, the first time I saw this floating bar in Fort Lauderdale, I was so fascinated. I walked along the river for a while because I wanted to, again, I had my camera with me, so I wanted pictures of the thing. And it was the neatest concept, and it had people. The bar was full, so it was I guess great as a tourist attraction and for locals. Yeah, Manhattan, we're the marina is protected on all sides by trees. We're sort of a bit of an inlet. And there's not a lot of wind today anyway. I think the wind was like 5 miles an hour, so it wasn't not that bad. Okay, let me go look at the sun, because I do want to swing the camera around. Why don't I just swing the camera around and we'll all watch the sun? So if I've swung the camera around, let's see when it catches up. It's not facing the sun directly because there's something else in the way. Hello, picture, wake up. We'll see what the sun looks like when the camera wakes up, or when YouTube gets around to updating itself. Hasn't done it yet. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, we got some circling here. Okay, so we're looking at the other side now, and I don't see any orange in that sky. We'll leave it there for a while anyway. Yeah, it's not a very exciting picture, is it? It's if I swing it around more, then let me try to swing it around a little bit more and see what that does to our picture. Let's see if we can get more of the actual sun. Burn the eyeballs. I can see the sun is getting orange, so we might this might not be too bad. Let's see what we've got here. Okay, so we're going to look partly through the plastic of the, yeah. Let's see what it does. Yeah, my Wi-Fi was a bit slow, so it wasn't updating. Yeah, so you can see a little bit of an orangey dot between the trees. It's this is all as close as we're going to get for a sunset. So we'll aim it at that side until the sun goes down. Then we'll swing it around the other way. And let's say the YouTube program seems to keep it looks like the sun has lost interest. It's still sitting there, a little bit, not much. A little bit of red dot in the middle of the trees. Although it might look pretty once it hits low, it gets lower. To me, it looks like the sun, like the ball of the sun is getting brighter. That yeah, it looks like it's getting brighter. So it'll be interesting to see what that looks like when it finally happens. It looks like the sun has lost interest. So yeah, to me it looks like the sun's getting brighter. It looks like there's rays of light coming out of the sun now. Oh yeah, that's nice what I'm seeing there. Now, I'm watching it on the computer, not on my phone. The phone is always better than the computer, but I think I'm seeing what everybody else would see. Yeah, I'll see if I can figure out how to do that. I don't know how to do that, to be honest. Yeah, I'm losing a little bit of cell phone power, of Wi-Fi power here. Yeah, but to me it looks like it's getting brighter. I'm going to look outside. My computer's not updating itself fast enough to really see what you guys are seeing. Oh yeah, it's getting really a real brown, bright bright spot in the sky. A really bright spot in the sky. Yeah, I'll figure out how to do that. I haven't figured out what to do with the comment section or the posting section. Yeah, the mic is interesting. As I say, I haven't really heard myself because there's a delay, and if I turn on the computer speaker, then I get this strange echo. But as I say, I've listened to so many people's lives with wind noise, and I find it detracts from what they're trying to, the message that they're trying to send. This phone doesn't have a microphone outlet or a headphone outlet, so the only way to get it to connect anything is with Bluetooth. And it seems to work. I like this brand. Godox is. I have other camera equipment from them. Chinese company, but they seem to make good stuff. DJI, I guess, is the other name I hear a lot of people using, but I find that everything that I know about DJI, everything needs to be registered for it to work. So I have a DJI stabilizer, and because I don't want to register it, I don't have the app that then provides some functionality in addition to what's built in. I have the DJI, the big Ronin stabilizer that I bought for a big camera, and at the time I bought it, you could download the app directly from the App Store. Hey Manhattan, yeah, thank you for coming by. Thank you for sticking around. Always nice to see you. I'll come back and check you later on. So this Godox, they have an app as well that of course they want you to register for, but the basic microphone works. What the app does apparently, and I don't talk about it in that video because I didn't download it, is it allows you to adjust the volume of the microphone. Here I'm going by whatever the phone wants to do, and it's okay. The other thing that it does is the system allows you to have two microphones. So if you're doing an interview, then you could have the dialogue of two people talking. It allows you to adjust the volumes of the two people individually, and also to make it easier to tell who's on the left and who's on the right. Okay, so that sun has disappeared, so let's just swing this camera back to look for something more interesting than the shadow of a boat. Let's see, what do we got there? We'll leave it there. Yeah, I hear birds. I see some birds. but no boats moving around. So the video is always nicer when there's a boat moving in the background, because it sort of tells you where you are. Let's see what we're doing here. So this has, yeah, so we've got some Wi-Fi issues here. It's not, it's lagging a little bit. Not sure what causes that. Yeah, so I move the camera around back to the other side. I don't, oh, okay, now I see it, yeah, it's taking its time to update itself here. Yeah, so that's, like in reality, it's starting to get dark. But the YouTube software is making it look pretty bright. When I see the sky, it's a little bit yellow at the horizon. I don't see that so much in the picture, but I'm happy with it. So yeah, so I'm happy with this microphone. It's worked out well. It allows me to talk without being near the phone. The phone is 10 feet away from you. The phone is outside of the cabin of the boat, and I'm sitting inside. Which, if you're trying to do it without a microphone, you wouldn't hear me, or I'd have to scream. So there's a lot of good things. And I've taken some very interesting video of waves. So I'm fascinated by waves, and I like some of the sounds. But if you're taking a picture of a wave, so you got the surf crashing in, but if you get a blast of wind right at the same time, you get this whoosh, that totally destroys the sound that you're looking for. So I'm hoping to record some stock video of just waves at various angles. The challenge is always to get the sun shining off the water at the right angle. Here, sand in the water, so sometimes the water is almost brown. It isn't that pretty blue that everybody's looking for. I have to just keep trying. So we'll do that with this microphone. So it's a good thing. I don't know whether I want to do unboxing videos. I watch other people's unboxings, and you always learn something, or it's just good entertainment. But when I look at mine, I'm in the middle. I got bored after I watched it 2 or 3 times, and maybe that's because I started doing it on the boat, and then I finished it at home, and the background is a bit too boring. So it's something to think about. Like back to cooking, I bought an air fryer for the boat, and it's a small toaster oven style air fryer. So it's basically a toaster oven with a label that says air fryer, because it's good marketing, and it's probably hotter. The heating element gets hotter, but it's relatively small, so it fits nicely. An issue in a boat is always how much space do you have for things. I mean, yeah, if you've got a 50-foot trawler, then yeah, you've got lots of room. But here, space is at a premium. When they sold this boat originally, it was one of the options was a microwave, and I'm trying to visualize where they put the microwave. I guess maybe over the sink. There's enough room there. So the air fryer can't go there, because the air fryer gets hotter than the microwave does. The microwave just blasts out the excess air, whereas the air fryer, the heat is actually what works. So it's a toaster oven air fryer with a tray. When I took it out of the box, partly to make an unboxing video, but also to start using it for cooking on the boat, I was a bit disappointed at how small the tray was compared to the big air fryer. I think it's a Tefal 2-basket air fryer that we have in the kitchen at home. But that would take up half the counter in here, so that wouldn't work. And the basket air fryer, I mean, in this one you could make small pizzas. And I like the idea of pizza bagels and some other sort of bread covered in stuff kinds of recipes. That, but it's small. So in a basket air fryer, it's harder to do that because the heat blows all around instead of coming from the top. So we'll see what I can do with that. So that might be my next unboxing, but that'll turn into it might turn into a pardon me, a rule 413. So it'll be an unboxing and cooking episode. So I'm trying to think of what the first thing that I want to do from an air fryer point of view. And before I was thinking of cooking on a boat as something that has any interest, I was talking to a girl that does live on her boat here, and in the marina, and we're just talking about supper one day, and she said, "Well, I'm gonna go air fry some chicken," and that made me think that an air fryer is a good tool on a boat because it doesn't take very long. I guess the other issue with a basket air fryer is when you clean them, it takes a lot of water because the whole inside of the tray inside of the basket gets messy. Whereas this toaster oven style air fryer, it has less things to get messy. Now, if you're doing bacon in there and you got bacon spattering all over the place, then I think it'll get messy as well. So I think you'd have to adapt, again, doing bacon into wrapping it in parchment paper so that it doesn't cover the whole inside of the machine with bacon grease. But so that'll be an unboxing as well as strictly shore power. The difference between the basket air fryer and this one, as well as the basket ones are all 1500 watts, and this one is 1200, so it draws less power. But yeah, when we're in the marina, there is shore power. When we're not in the marina, then that's not going to work. If you had enough lithium batteries, you could probably generate 1200 watts of power for an hour. But the batteries I have won't deliver that. I have heard of people that once they converted their battery system to lithium ion, then they'd have enough power to run an electric hot water heater, for instance. So lithium is a good thing. Expensive. Probably not in the cards for this boat. But then again, you never know. If these batteries go, they're like $400 each, and the same power in lithium would be double that. So, I mean, $400, $800 is only money, right? It's something to consider when they need to be replaced. Again, we have shore power to charge the batteries. If you're not doing shore power, then you need enough solar cells or a generator to generate enough power. So, when you get into 50-foot sailboats, 50-foot cruisers, then a generator is typically part of the setup. So if you're not running the engines, but you're still running a generator, and 1500 watts isn't a lot. I mean, I've got a small emergency generator that puts out 1500 watts, and I can pick it up and carry it. So it's not a lot of power for a gas engine. Solar cell, yeah, it would take a lot of. So if you've got 1,000-watt solar panel, that's like 4 feet by 8 feet. Yeah, if you had a couple hours of sun, you'd probably get enough to run a air fryer for as long as it takes to make supper, and then just hope you have enough sun for the next day. So it's as you get into all of this power, then you start wondering, how you're going to drive it. The previous boat I had, the only cooking appliance on it was an alcohol stove that only used once, and I wanted to make tea for somebody that was cold. And my God, it took like 15 minutes to heat up a kettle. We did happen to have a kettle on the boat. What's the sun doing? Yeah, the sun is getting down there. It's getting down there. We'll leave it outside for another 10 minutes or so. So use Sailor Rule 413. Most people don't know the term shore power. Propane inverter, diesel inverter. I mean, the engine is diesel, so if you had a diesel generator, then you don't need two types of fuel. If you were running many cruisers use gasoline engines, so you've got gasoline on board anyway. Propane is a pain because propane is not widely available, so you'd have to keep filling propane tanks. This boat has a propane stove that unfortunately doesn't have. There's a problem with it. I discovered a leak last year when I was cleaning something, so I've got to deal with that. Now the cooking, I do it all with a butane cooker. That works pretty well. It gets hot. It gets hot enough, and the big problem with the butane cookers is, what do you do with the empty propane cylinders? They're not recyclable. You don't throw them in the garbage, because if they get squished and blow up. Shore power and RV. Okay, so an RV person, welcome aboard. So a lot of when I do my cooking recipes, I try to think of if I was in an RV. I've never been in an RV. I've never actually been in an RV. That's sad. But I can visualize from having watched movies how much storage space you have, how much fridge space you have, and how much water you have. So, when you do dishes, if you use 2 pots, you got to wash 2 pots. If you only have 1 pot, you only need to wash 1 pot. And where do you put the gray water? If you're carrying the gray water in your black water tank, then it fills up. On the boat, we only here have a black water tank, which is basically the toilet. Dishwashing goes straight out into the environment. Some places don't allow that. If you're on the ocean, then it's a different situation as well. But But yeah, so there's some interesting issues. But yeah, the girl that was with the boat that said, "I'm going to cook chicken in my air fryer for supper," that made me think that that there's it's a neat concept, and there's a whole there's a lot of recipes for air fryers. I mean, when they took off, they were like crock pots, right? So when the crock pots got invented, then everybody, all the recipe people, wrote a book on crock pots. And then after crock pots, we had instant pots. So then suddenly the whole recipe industry turned to instant pot recipes. And now with air fryers, there's a lot of neat ideas of what you can do and what works well in the confines of what an air fryer can do. The yeah, so we'll see what adapt some recipes, invent some recipes, borrow some recipes and improve on them to work with this little air fryer that I have. Now, basically, you could only do a two-person meal at a time in this thing as well. That's the other thing, it being small. But that's, you know, how many people do you have on a boat, and how do you make that work? But let me go look outside and see what the sun is doing to us here. Yeah, sky is in the picture. The sky's starting to turn purple. I like that color. That's kind of neat. Yeah, we don't have the sun. That's interesting. The sun is totally hidden by those trees. Otherwise, it would have a really nice color there. But that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. We'll give it a few more minutes. It's a pretty picture. I like this time of day. The trees aren't fully with leaves yet, so the sun sort of shines through the trees. I mean, that tree we had there was a pine tree, so it's fully dark. But it's a nice time of day. Well, it's already 9:15. Time flies when you're having fun. It's getting cold outside too. I don't have a thermometer on the boat, so I don't know how cold it actually is. I guess we should bring one just to be able to report on it. Yeah, we got a bunch of birds flying around. I was watching a bunch of seagulls on the beach diving into the water, looking for food. And we have these crazy cormorants, so they're blackbirds. I don't see fewer this year than in other years. But they will not so much dive into the water from the sky, but they'll land on the water, and then they'll go underwater. So they'll just disappear. There's no fuss, no splash. Suddenly the bird is gone, and 2 or 3 minutes later, it'll pop up somewhere else, sometimes holding something in its beak. So It's its way of feeding itself, right? And then we get a lot of swallows. I've often tried to take a picture of a swallow, but they fly so fast that you can't really get a good shot of them. So I'm going to bring the camera in. Let's see if we can make some room for it here. What are we going to put it in? What happened to that? Beer Cozy from the British Virgin Islands. Let's turn on some lights, get some light in here. Let's see where we want that light to shine. Okay, so let's bring in this phone and see if we can continue this conversation inside where it's less dark. So let's undo this. There's that toaster oven air fryer. Hey, Sunnyside. Welcome aboard. Let's see how I'm going to deal with this. Where's that? Here. We'll put that here. And then this we'll put there. And we're going to take the camera off its tripod. Pardon me. Hope you don't get seasick while I'm doing all of this. Okay, that's disconnected. And now we will take the camera and insert it in this Beer Cozy and flip it around. Let's see if we can make it fit. And we're going to put it about here. And now we're inside. Let's see if this thing will update itself. I see myself on the phone, but I don't see myself on the computer. It's not awake yet. It's coming. Yeah, I guess the Wi-Fi is a little bit on the slow side here. Yeah, I don't see the picture on my computer yet. I see it on the phone, of course, because the phone is faster than the. We'll see when it wakes up. Yeah, Sunnyside, how are you? It's yeah, sorry, rule 413. I missed alcohol stoves. Yeah, so they still sell alcohol stoves. I'm not. I guess the thing about an alcohol stove is that alcohol is sold in bottles and is stored in bottles, and so it's easy to get more fuel. Whereas propane, filling a propane tank is a complex process. If they're disposable propane tanks, then of course disposing of them is a complex process as well. And whereas alcohol, it's a plastic bottle. So so it's easy to deal with the leftovers. But the alcohol is very, it's not very hot to start with. Although you know Bunsen burners, no, Bunsen burners are gas as well. Um, okay, living after 50. Thanks for dropping by. We'll do this again. Really appreciate the amount of time you've spent on board. The um, you'd think that they would do diesel fuel stoves, but diesel smells. And I think the issue there is that if you start burning diesel inside, I know there's diesel garage heaters that, or they burn, use motor oil. But in a garage, you're not looking for sort of that cleaner smell that that you have in when you're trying to enjoy yourself on a boat. Hey, 1111 code. Thanks for coming by. Appreciate the visit. Stick around as long as you can. The I'm getting a bit of buffering here, so I'm not sure what people are seeing. It's not buffering on the phone, but it's buffering on my computer. So I guess, yeah, and it's not updating either. I'm still see the mouse in front of me, and the mouse is no longer in the shot. It and I'm trying a background music, which is basically from the YouTube audio library. Hopefully it's not too loud. Um, it's playing a few feet away from the microphone. Okay, thanks, Sunnyside. Thanks for that update. It here I'm sort of at the mercy of the Wi-Fi provided by the marina, and as we get more and more boats, and of course more and more people are using it, right? So it's the pipe is only so big. The I want to try something. The pipe is only so big. Yeah, so this music is playing. This is this thing from the YouTube library with the 433 hertz sounds, and I was trying to understand. And the internet is full of opinions on why 433 hertz is good for you. What makes 433 hertz so special? The and yeah, I mean, the internet is full of opinions and folklore and cult lore about 433 hertz. Um, I enjoy the sound, but if I didn't know what 433 hertz, would it make any difference? Hard to say. The and then I came across another article that was talking about 753 hertz sound. So 753 hertz is pretty high up there on the keyboard, but I think the birds are trying to drown out my music now. Yeah, it's interesting. It's starting to get darker outside, so I think wait for this to wake up. Hey, Giovanni, welcome aboard. Thanks for coming by. Stay as long as you can. Appreciate the company. Once the computer wakes up here, we'll give you the wrench network to your heart's content. YouTube is giving me grief here. Yeah, so as I say, it's starting to get a little bit dark outside, and it's interesting that the YouTube camera stays so bright for so long before it loses all connectivity. The normally I would have expected several boats would have been going out one way or another in the evening, but nobody has left while we've been here. It's, I guess, it's. What does YouTube want from my life here? Two a.m. So where's 2 a.m.? It's Europe somewhere. It's 9 here, 7 hours. Yeah. Okay, let's just close that. We don't really need that. Yeah, 2 a.m. So that's at one point I had clocks set for 4 or 5 places around the world, just to remind me where other places were. But I don't do any work in anywhere else than here, so it's not super important. but still worth knowing where people are. And when you listen to the news, you wonder, well, what time is it there? And I guess the biggest thing that I keep track of is across Canada from one side to the other is 4 hours of time zones, and that does from time to time. I want to know where people are at. But I guess it's most interesting when you get into Southeast Asia, the international dateline, and we're talking to somebody that was talking about flying to Hawaii from Toronto and how long it would take. Now, Hawaii isn't as far as the international dateline, but still, it's a 13-hour flight from here, and you're pretty close. So that when you can leave here, and it's already the next day when you get there. I find that amazing. That the times around the world. Let's see if we can move this guy and he'll pick up some better Wi-Fi. Wonder why it's circling so much. Didn't do this the last couple times we were here, so it's getting dark. I appreciate all the people that have been here watching for the whole stream or have come in and out. It's we're getting to that point where we want to get the YouTube monetization under control, and of course that's subscribers and hours, and to some extent that means making interesting stuff that people find interesting enough to watch. I mean, I watch stuff. People like Sunnyside, I've left his music on for a couple of hours at a time, because on a computer it's easier to have 3 or 4 streams going, and I guess it's most interesting when you get playing a music channel and a talk channel, and sometimes the music looks like it supports the talk, and sometimes the music looks like it conflicts with the talk. You got soft talk and rock music, or a heated discussion and instrumental like we're playing here. So the music can do some interesting things for you and change how you feel about what you're watching. Yeah, it's Tuesday, so tomorrow it's supposed to rain all day. We bought some plants. I'm supposed to plant them. I want to get the mainsail up on this boat, and it's about an all-day undertaking, but it can't really do it when it's going to rain because we don't want the sail wet when it gets covered up, because it pardon me, my eyes are dry. If you put away a sail wet, then it gets moldy and mildewy, and then it's a real chore to wash that out. And so at first I thought I'd start today, and then I saw the weather for today was going to be it was going to be nice today, and then it was going to be rainy all day tomorrow. So now they're telling us that it's going to be nice in the morning, but that's not enough time to deal with the sale. So that means it's going to have to wait till later in the week. And I think Thursday, our time is going to be rainy as well. The So it's going to have to wait till the fall. Yeah, Giovanni, I started this conversation about 433 hertz because this song I'm playing in the background from the YouTube audio library mentions 433 hertz. And I started researching 433 or 432. I think it's 433 is what this one claims. And I think I looked that up at one point, and it was, oh yeah, 432 hertz. That is C above middle C. But I don't know why that's particularly important to anybody. So yeah, it's interesting what music and some sound frequencies can do in terms of how it affects your mood. And interesting how it how people determine that. Like, how did somebody decide what middle C was? Was it just coincidence? If it was invented on a piano, I guess because that's where middle C exists, on a piano, right? Was it because the first piano maker tightened the string and said, "Oh, there it is. This is where it's going to be." And I would guess octaves had been decided at that point, and so then you started building the other strings around that particular middle C. But why middle C? Why not 500 hertz? Why not 472? Or was it all just pure coincidence? And then once that was set in stone, because a piano was made, at that point, then somebody said, "Okay, let's understand what we're hearing." And people started experimenting with various sounds and what effect it was having on people. It's fascinating. It's fascinating. But I can't play music on any instrument to any great extent. Can't, like on a piano, can't make two hands to do two different things. Guitar is a little bit easier because what those two hands do are so radically different. That it works. I'm finding this music is putting me to sleep to some extent. I don't want to fall asleep on you. I don't want to fall asleep on me. And it's getting cold. There's sort of like a cold fog coming in because the door to the cockpit is still open. But we're not supposed to have fog today. It's not fog conditions. Let's see if we can move this. I'm trying to figure out why this this Wi-Fi is on the computer is giving me grief. But But we didn't really use the Wi-Fi last year because it wasn't really using the boat. I guess the year before I was basically using my phone data with a hotspot to drive a computer. Um, but phone data for streaming for several hours isn't economically feasible. So you got to rely on Marina Wi-Fi. Guess I should bring my Wi-Fi sniffer down to see. Why did it say I was live? Did we just lose the signal there for a minute? I think we lost the signal for a second on the phone even, which is kind of interesting. I've never seen that happen before. I just want to do something here before we do lose our signal completely. Let's just. Today, 27th, right? Let's just update that. Yeah, I'm seeing circling on my computer, but no circling on the phone. So, phone must be okay. It's still not dark outside. Maybe I should have left. No, but the sky is just cloudy. It's just gray. There's nothing exciting out there. It's just gray. It'll be interesting to see what the morning is like. Whether there are predictions of sun is valid, or whether it's going to be rainy in the middle. I'm just going to take a look outside. Excuse me. Pardon me. It's yeah, it's getting pretty dark out there. So, but it's nice and lit up in here. It's cozy. It's because the door is wide open. It's getting chilly. So we'll let it run for another few minutes, 10 minutes, I guess. and then say aloha. But are we getting any signal here? Yeah, they're all circling. So we'll keep talking and keep hoping to say some interesting stuff. So I did a series of recipes on chow mein, and I admit I learned some of them from TikTok and then improved them and made them my own. And it was interesting comparing soy sauce and hoisin sauce and oyster sauce, and completely unique tastes. And I found in the end what I liked best was hoisin sauce, because it's very sweet. And I thought at first I would not like the taste because I thought it would be too sweet, almost like honey. And then I discovered no, it's really nice. Pardon me. Oh, pardon me. Problem with the microphone being so close, it hears all those noises. Where is my good friend? This picture. Yeah, I've got to understand what the story is with the circling, whether it's broken up outside or whether it's only on this computer, because I've got two streams of data. I've got the stream from the phone going out, and then the stream from the on the computer coming in. So it's using up twice the amount of data. And if it's giving priority to the phone, then that's good, because the phone is what's important in terms of getting the stream out into the real world. It was interesting when COVID started. The world invented Zoom and Zoom meetings that we really didn't have on a regular basis. I guess we had Microsoft had its systems for a while already, in terms of instant messaging, and then Microsoft Video. And then Zoom came along to provide sort of low cost, easy to use video sharing, because with COVID, people weren't going into the office. And then that sort of disappeared once COVID was over. The need wasn't there to the same extent. I mean, we still have the whole work from home craze going on, but Microsoft then improved collaboration in Teams. So that was a big upgrade for everybody using Microsoft Office products. And Zoom has sort of disappeared, although I still get invited to Zoom meetings for various things. it's not the same. And Google had invented the Hangouts many years ago. At that point, I was doing photography for Google for Street View, and we would regularly have what Google called a Hangout to discuss whatever they wanted to talk about, quality control issues, and how they wanted to present different subjects, and how they wanted to approach the business, and mainly the photographers were commissioned to do pictures of businesses for Google Street View, and that was kind of interesting. That was sort of the first time I ended up with online collaboration. I mean, Apple has always had FaceTime, but it's always been a one-to-one video call concept, as opposed to 10, 20, 30, 100 people in a meeting, all listening and having the opportunity to share. So 9:24. So we'll give it 5 more minutes, and then we'll have had the pleasure of being together for 2.5 hours. Few people are still there. I appreciate everybody that's come aboard, and really appreciate everybody that has kept their channel open for the whole time. As I say, it's a watch hours kind of thing that YouTube is imposing on us, and their platform, so it makes a lot of sense. But I would like to fit into their rules and find enough interesting things to say to enough interesting people, like the people I'm talking to now, that it fits into their time. So it's okay. It's a good thing. It's a nicer experience than the TikTok experience. TikTok is purely phone based, so it's a bit harder to manipulate your phone. It becomes and TikTok is on one hand, the algorithm is an important part of helping people find things that they're interested in, and helping people that create content find people that are interested in what they're doing. But I've found the TikTok algorithm is so aggressive. I spent a minute watching something yesterday, and then suddenly the next 5 videos that came up were all the same subject. So they thought I was that interested in that, after only pausing on one long enough to get the whole 90-second story. That and it was an interesting topic at the time. I can't even remember what it was now, but could have been politics, or could have been sailing. I mentioned a few times I follow Lauren Landers in her sailing adventures, and she's apparently sailing across the Pacific to Hawaii. I don't know if she's through the Panama. She started out in Florida, so I don't know if she's through the Panama Canal yet or not. But if I watch her on YouTube, I may get a recommendation to watch another one of her movies, one of her videos, a day or two later. If I watch her on TikTok, my next 5 videos that the algorithm gives me are of her sailing. And sometimes in that case, it's interesting. Sometimes it's repetitive and boring and annoying. But it's each has its own thing, and the challenge is to learn how to take advantage of what each platform offers and what each environment offers to create something that people will be interested in. And another interesting thing, and this will be the last thing I'm going to talk about. So many years ago, I created a Pinterest account, and I used it mainly to pin my own pictures. So instead of pinning something in the wild on the internet, I would upload a picture to create a bunch of pins, as they call them on Pinterest, with my pictures. And then I sort of ignored it. 9 years comes to mind. So suddenly 2 months ago, I'm getting an email a day from Pinterest offering me things that it says I will be interested in. And there seem to be a variety of things. I have not tried to see any relationship to anything I have ever done on Pinterest. But they woke up suddenly and said, let's market to George and get him to, I guess, to some extent, create content, but also to share his content with others. Because Pinterest, like YouTube and TikTok, are all, their objective is to have people watching stuff, and then have enough of a different group of people creating content that the first group of people are going to watch. And hey, Papa Jim, welcome on board. I'm about to wrap up, so I'm sorry it's so late at the end of our live. Do this again next Wednesday, not tomorrow, but next Wednesday, sort of at the same time. I had chosen today, Tuesday, because it's supposed to rain tomorrow, and I'm trying to avoid. It's too depressed sitting out here and when it's raining, and chatting to the world. So it's we chose Tuesday, and it's getting dark here, and it's getting cold, and I've got all the doors and windows of the boat open, so we're not going to stay that much longer, but I do appreciate you dropping by. I will, when I'm back at my other computer, check you out and say hello. So thank you, everybody. Code Sunnyside, I don't know how many people are still here. Rule. Who else was here? Rule. Living After 50. Kayla. I didn't say hi. I guess I was looking outside or something when you came by. So if you're still here, thank you. You're wonderful. Thank you for dropping by. I will. I think the last live I was looking for you, I missed it by half an hour. Manhattan Pretty. Who else was here? Trekking with Deb and Mike. Life After 50. Mullins. Jay Mullins. Who else was here? Cezanne. Quinto de Casa. thank you all for coming by. I love you all, and I will check your stuff, and I will come back to you hopefully again on next Wednesday. So let me take the phone out here and basically say I'm going to stop this live. I'm actually not going to stop it for a second because I wanted to open analytics, and it gave me a hard time. So it wanted me to put in my password a second time. Okay, so this time it's not doing that. Okay, so this time it's not doing that. So I don't know what YouTube's issue was, but it did something weird to me. And but now it seems to be happy. So I'm going to basically wanted to save a screenshot of the stats. And yeah, let me push the button. Am I sure I want to stop streaming? I'm sure. Thank you very much for coming.